This is Mother Teresa joining you live from Caldwell Manor. Right now, I am trying something. So if you are seeing me on Facebook and you're also seeing you, that is what I am trying to do. So I just want you all to sit back and relax and take part of the conversation that we're going to have on tonight. Now, if again, I said I am trying something new on tonight. So hopefully it'll go without a hitch. And if it messes up, guess what? We can try it again. I can try it again at another time and we'll get it fixed. No problem. So, to my YouTube audiences, first of all, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. You are live with me for the first time. And also to my Facebook audience, thank you all for being back here on tonight. Listen, this is for your, if it's your first time, I just want to just say thank you for grandstanding with Mother Teresa, which is myself, Mother Teresa, or the other Mother Teresa that is from East Texas, Nacogdoches to be exact. And I come on social media once a week to talk about my life, but in the lives of those that are connected to me, what's happening in our society. On last week, I was out, so I apologize for being out, but I'm glad that you're back with me on tonight. Now, listen, we're going to jump right in. If you listen to me to my Monday morning motivations, remember I health. And for those of you all who do not know that we celebrate mental health awareness during the month of May. And so you'll see a lot of people wearing things that says mental health matters, just like my t-shirt. On the back it says let's help stop the stigma. So tonight we're going to talk about mental health. And for those that are joined in with me, listen, I'm going to be asking and I'm going to need you to join in with me and put some things into the chat. Also, for those that are listening to the replay, please share it with other people. If you find something that is helpful and beneficial to you, please share the replay. Give me likes. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, please consider being a subscriber. I talk about a lot of different things, just, lots and lots of different things. But I try to talk about and give you some everyday life strategies, applications, how to make next day. But let me just tell you, there's always going to be a twist with it. It's going to be a twist coming from a lady of am a faith believer, a faith walker, faith talker, believe in God that I trust and I try to live a life that is pleasing to God. Mother Teresa. But listen, which is my given name, let's talk about mental health. And that is something in our community. A lot of times when we are talking about mental health in the community, taboo. People don't want to talk about it, don't want to discuss it. People don't want you to say about mental health. And I wonder, and you can help me on tonight if you mental health, if we're not to talk about the crazy, what we would call our lives in our world. But let me just tell you, when you're saying that somebody is crazy, that is a term that, of course, you hear quite a bit, but that's not necessarily the case. It's not that they're crazy, it's that they are having some issues and they don't necessarily know how to deal with them. So let's just talk about what is mental health. When I think about mental health, I think about The things that affect me in my everyday life, in the way that I do things, in the way that I my with others, it may affect how I interact with my, when I say others, my jobs, the people that are in the community. It affects the way I do things. It also affects how I respond to people. It affects a lot of different things. The way that, you've seen the term live, laugh, and mental health issues, it's going to affect all of those things. And let me just tell you, when it starts affecting all of those different things, all of those different areas in our lives, you all be mindful that we do not live on an island. That means that there are other people around us. That means that there are other people that are in our world, that we need to make sure that we are our best self, not only just for us, but for the people that are around us. I often will say it's okay not to be okay. And you hear people say that. And what does that actually mean? It's okay that you're not doing well. It's okay that you are having some mental health issues, but it's not okay if you are suffering in silence. And a lot of times, because of the stigma that is attached to mental health, we see is our people are suffering in silence. And we have this suffering that's going on a lot of times in our African American communities, in our Hispanic communities, in our Latino communities. And the reason being is because we don't talk about growing up and even to today. And I said earlier, I am a woman of faith. But a lot of times, what will happen is when my person is dealing with a mental health issue, of course, we want to go to God. We want to talk to want to pray about it. But let me just tell you, you can pray, you can talk to the pastor, you can talk to the first lady, you can talk to everybody. But let me just tell you, sometimes in all of that talking, you also need to be talking to a mental health professional, somebody who has been to school, that knows how to walk along beside you. They know the words to say. They have been trained to deal with people that are experiencing mental health issues. And I'm not discounting the conversation that you may have with your family members or with your pastor and the people, those people. But what I am saying is that you also need with a mental health professional. And when you're visiting with a mental health professional, again, that is somebody who has been trained, that has hopefully has a license to walk alongside you during this journey. And again, it's a cultural thing. So down through the years, we've just been taught to either just ignore it or pray it away. But some of the things that people are dealing with, you all, you just cannot pray it away. And I'm a firm believer in miracles. I'm a firm believer that God can heal every single thing that we are going through. But I also know that sometimes you might need some medication. And again, you may need to talk to somebody. So that mental health professional is trained to so it's okay to have many different feelings. It's okay if you are experiencing some depression, anxiety, you're experiencing all of those different things that may come along with a person who is dealing with a mental health issue. You may have those different things that you are dealing with, but let me just tell you, don't suffer in silence. That's what we are, people like me. That's why we're here. We're here to walk alongside you. We're here to help you out. But let me just tell you, it's okay, again, to seek help. When you're seeking help, uh, make sure that you are finding someone that you feel comfortable talking to. Make sure that it's a person who you feel like has maybe something in common with you, or it is somebody who you feel that can help you. Because this is one of the things that I will say is that sometimes we will ask for a we'll ask for a recommendation for somebody, and that recommendation from a friend, or it may come from someone at your school or someone at your work. Person may not be the right fit for you. So what I want to tell you is that when you are looking, when you are searching for, make sure that you have some specific things in mind. Sometimes as people of color, we want somebody. Reason why we may think that is because we may think that they can understand some of the things that we're going through. But I will tell you that is not always the case. Sometimes what we're looking for or who we really need may look the total opposite of what with the person that you are seeking as a therapist. Check out their credentials as correct credentials, that they are licensed, that experience. And as you're getting to know this person, with you're feeling okay about working with, guess what? Of your business with that person. And if you're sharing all of person, guess what? You need to trust them. You need to be able to trust the person that you are talking to. You need to be able to trust them and feel that what you are stating to them, that they understand, that they've worked with people who have had work with people who have dealt with anxiety. And not only that, that they're not going to be judgmental, that they're not going to for the things that you are sharing with them. Because if you find a therapist that's like that, I'm going to tell you, you need to find somebody else. Okay? You need to find somebody else because you need to be very comfortable with the person that you are spending your time with and that you are spending your money with. Okay? So, looking for a therapist, again, make some criteria that you're looking for. Make sure that those persons meet those criteria. And I'm going to tell you, a good Google search, you can go to a lot of different websites to find a therapist in your area. But again, you want to make sure that you're looking for someone with some credentials, someone that is reputable. And say, well, why are you stressing that so much, Mother Theresa? I'm stressing this because there in every profession, you will have people for the wrong reasons, and they may do some that they're doing what they're doing is because they have ulterior motives. And if you have a therapist that is just in it, it's the wrong person. So check their credentials. Check their credentials. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you all, looking for a therapist, when you are dealing with the things that you're going through, I want you all to understand issues. Don't ever feel like you're the only one. And I know this may not be a hot topic. This may not be a topic that you even want to hear. And again, mental health has a lot of stigma attached to it. So comfortable conversation, but it's a conversation that we need to have. And I also want you to understand, in people that are dealing with mental, it's very common. It's not something that, you are the only person that is dealing with situations like this. It is very common for people to have or to experience bouts of depression. And let me just tell you, sometimes people may say, Well, I really don't know if what I am going through is depression. Well, let me just tell you, if you are not feeling like yourself, if you are feeling like, if you're very sluggish, you don't want to get out of the bed, you don't want, you're just, you're not behaving normal self, like your normal self, and you are experiencing this for time, a lot, 2 weeks where you don't want to get out of the bed, 2 weeks where you don't want to go out of the house, 2 weeks where you don't want to comb your hair, brush your teeth, whatever. And sometimes it's just like you cannot put your finger on it. You just know you feel blah. Your mind is constantly racing. Your mind is constantly on the things that is just not going right. And it's like, woe is me. I'm not saying you're going to experience, and I'm not saying that and I definitely didn't name all of them, but sometimes what that feels like, we often overlook it and say, I'm just not feeling good. I'm just not feeling like myself. I just want to, I just want to get in my bed and just sleep. I just want to, or I'm tired and I can't catch up on my rest. You know, sometimes you may be experiencing depression. And I'm not saying that it is something that everybody has experienced, but I'm telling you that for those of you who have, alone. You're definitely not alone. And the thing about it is that there are people who can walk alongside of you to help you deal with the depression. There are people who are trained to help you to understand, but give you some strategies on times what will begin to happen is you will begin to feel some of the things that will trigger, you will begin to notice some of the things that will begin to trigger the depression. And then as you begin to understand what your triggers are, then now you know what to look on, how to deal with them. And of course, when we're talking about strategies, some of the strategies that a lot of therapists use, it is breathing techniques. In case you don't know, and I don't think I have it in here, my tagline is take care and breathe. And I really mean that we've got to learn to take care of ourselves, and we've got to learn to sit back and start taking inventory of the things that's going on in our lives. That's be stressed. Got to be able to name those things. And then when we figure out what is causing us to be stressed, then we've got to learn how to handle those things. And let me just tell you some of the ways that you can handle the stress in your life or dealing with the stressors in your life is breathing techniques. Often talk about take five. Take five. All I want you to do is to take 5 deep breaths. Okay? And when you take those 5 deep breaths, what you're doing is yourself. You are getting yourself back to a state of calm and and people say, it can't be that simple. It really is. It really is. And for those of you all that are watching, I want you to try it. I want you to try when you're feeling like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little bit just like on edge. Just stop and take 5 deep breaths. It does work. It really, really does. Thing that I will say is not just the 5 deep breaths, but the other thing is just to just stop. Of course, our breathing, it's just we just naturally breathe. So when I'm talking about breathing, I really want you to do the breathing where you're inhaling, feeling your tummy, come pushing it out, that you can actually see your chest do that. I'm talking about deep, deep breaths, okay? Not just your surface breathing that we do automatically, that you don't even have to. If you're alive, you're breathing, okay? But I need you to be conscious of your chest rising and falling. And the other thing that I was going to share is going back to the breathing, is not only doing that, but just being able to still yourself, to quieten yourself. That even in the Bible, it tells to be still and know that I am God. That's what the Word of God says. And I want you all to understand that sometimes we just got to be able to sit in silence. And that sitting in silence, absolutely nothing. A lot of people call that mindfulness. A lot of people call it mindfulness, being more the connected to uh, aware of the being aware of your surroundings, just being in the moment. A lot of people will say just being in the moment and being able to just sit with yourself. And when you're able to just sit with yourself, then a lot of times what you'll notice is that you'll begin to hear every, you'll be able to hear the humming of the air conditioner system. You'll be able to hear you'll be able to hear the things that are outside that are so, seems like you never really paid attention. Sometimes when I'm sitting outside, of course, I am paying attention to every single thing that my eyes are seeing. But when I'm sitting there and I'm quiet, I can hear the sound conditioner unit that's outside. I can hear the sounds of the motor on the pool. I can hear the, if I'm really really quiet, I can hear like when there's squirrels and they're running across the fence or jumping into the trees and different things like that. But you would be was in a workshop and a training, and somebody said that they could hear the current. Oh wow. Now that's deep. That's great, great hearing. I've never been able to experience that. But when you quieten yourself, when you get able to hear, but not only are you hearing those things, but you're giving your mind an opportunity to reset. You're giving your body an opportunity to reset. I can tell you that where I have problems with my muscles is I, but on sometimes what will happen if I cannot take medication, what I do is I will quieten myself and I will begin to give myself a soft massage on my legs. But the pain has dissipated. The pain is gone. And I think because I am really focusing on moving that pain and getting rid of it, that it just leaves. Now, you may say, well, what does that have to do with mental health? Well, it has a lot to do with it because when you begin to regain control of your mind, and that's where the mental health comes from. That's where it mind. And I'm not saying that it's playing tricks on your mind. What I am telling you is that when you can regain control of your mind, then you have begun the to I would say win the battle against mental health. Now, it's not that easy. I don't want to downplay it and make it seem like it's that easy, because it's not. But as I begin to wrap up, because my time is rapidly going past, I'm usually, but I want to also tell you that when you are going through, when people are going through lives, and let me just tell you, we're living in a day right now where there is so happening in our lives to always be on edge. You know, it's every day there is something new on the news that is just like, oh my goodness, no, this is happening, and all of these different things happens as we begin to internalize all the different things, and we don't know how to process those things. And because we cannot process those things, we begin to internalize it, and we take all of those things in and we allow it to weigh us down. One of the things that I do know is that when you begin to talk about the situation that is happening in your life, when you begin to tell people, and when I say people, whoever it may be, but when you begin to share what is happening in your life, you are giving yourself back the power over the mental health issues that you're dealing with. It has a very therapeutic means to it. It will help to be able to lift like a huge, sometimes burden off of your shoulders, because a lot of times what's happening again, as I stated, is that because we are ashamed to tell anybody what's going on, because there's such a stigma with mental health, we keep it all inside. We don't tell anybody about what's going on. We just kind of keep it all bottled up inside. And when we keep all of this stuff bottled up inside, you all, part of the reason why we are depressed. That's part of the reason why we're having such anxiety, because we haven't been able to get it out and share it and tell anybody about it. Okay? So I'm telling you, it is definitely okay to talk to people, to tell people what is going on in your. It is okay to find a therapist. It is okay to find a trusted person that you can talk to. It does wonders for your mental health. Okay. And I'm just going to end this with saying, as a mental health, a licensed uh, social worker, mental health provider, the things that I've shared with you all tonight is not meant to be um, anything that I would say. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your therapist, but I am a sister in Christ. I am a person who is concerned about the people of God and the people in general. And I just wanted to share with you all, because we are celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month, that I wanted to be able to share with you all. The most important thing that I wanted to let you all know is that it's okay not to be okay, but it's also not okay to suffer in silence. And if you can just do two things that I share with you on tonight, is to, start doing some breathing, start trying to get yourself back regulated, and start talking to people. Okay? Find a therapist, find somebody that you can talk to. Those two things will not necessarily, well, no, it's not going to cure your mental health issues, but I guarantee you it puts you at a better chance of being able to live with it and cope with it. Okay? Again, on tonight, I just wanted to share with you all just a little bit about mental health, um, society. And we're not just talking about just adults, you all. Don't think that issues. We have a lot of children with mental health issues. And parents, let me just say this. When you your children, you can't self diagnose. Thank you, honey. Professional assistance. You're absolutely right. When you find that your children are behaving in a way that typical self, learn to recognize and know your children when they walk through the door that you're is wrong with them. And I used to say that all the time, children well enough that I could distinguish when something was wrong with them. And listen, I am 61 years old and I am finding out that I wasn't as good at that as I thought I was, okay? And I'm as good as, but know your children. Know your children. Know when something is wrong with them. Talk to your children. To you, okay? If you notice something is wrong with them sit in it, okay? Talk to them. See if you can talk to them. And if they don't want to talk to you, find some help for them. There are a lot of uh, free services out there at different agencies, but there is also that may be covered by your insurance if you have insurance. You just gotta investigate. But don't violence either. And listen, it could be young children. I'm talking about 3 years old. Okay. Are dealing with mental health issues. They don't know what to call it. But you know that your child is behaving differently. So I'm just gonna say that not only are you taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your children. Recognize when they are not behaving in the manner in which they should and get them some. Sometimes we as a family, we need to all somewhere because sometimes what's happening is a lot of these things are given or passed on from generations to generations, and it's don't want to say it's inherited, but it's something. It could be a gene that from generation to generation. And so we need to make sure of each other. All right. I tried to keep it as light as possible. I just giving you a couple of things that you can do conversation. And in the month of May, I want you all to know that listen, some people are doing the very best that they can. They're doing the very best that they can to wake up in the morning and put one foot out of the bed. So be nice to people because you never know what they're dealing with. You never know what they're going through. And sometimes is a smile. All they need is a kind word. All they need is somebody to give them a simple word of encouragement. Sometimes all they need is somebody to say, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Is it anything that I can, okay? Are we going to, just something, say something. And if you don't know what to say, a simple smile world to somebody. And the other thing, when you encounter people, again, like I said, sometimes, a lot of times, we don't know what it has taken for them to get up and actually get to where they need to be. And sometimes our actions can actually cause them, okay? And so, and when I say go off, you all kind of know when people have snapped, okay? And sometimes when a person has snapped, it's bad for everybody involved, okay? And we don't want to be the reason why a person snaps. So be kind to people. Be nice to people. It doesn't take much to be nice. Listen, again, I just want to thank you all for being here, for listening. Please share this. You know, if you come across it and somebody has shared it on their, and if anything speaks to you, then you share it. Okay. If you're not a subscriber, um, I would hope that you would find something that I have said that would make you want to say, hey, let me go check this lady out. Let me see what's on her page. Whether it's my YouTube page, my book, get over on one of those platforms. I want you to subscribe, but I want you to notification bell. So whenever there's, you will get it. Okay. And please comment. Leave me some comments so I will know basically if this hit home or if this didn't, if this wasn't it for you, just let me know. Mother Theresa, this wasn't it for me. Okay. If you have any comments about anything that you would like to hear more information as well, leave me some comments in the chat. All right, everybody. I'm gonna leave you all tonight with more of In the Meantime. And so I look forward to being back with you all on next week, Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock. I am here unless something comes up. And as my sister Cynthia would say, good night, grandstanders. Thank you all so very much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for joining me on tonight, everybody. Thank you so much, Nick. You all enjoy your night. Okay? All right. And I think I was able to do my YouTube live. I hope it. Good night, everybody. All right, Ned. I guess I'm still on YouTube. I'm trying to figure it out how to shut it off. Let's see.